Upon entering Denderah, the visitor passes a series of constructions built by the Romans during the kingdoms of the emperors Trajan and Domitian. A series of kiosks frame the north door that is enclaved in the massive walls that protect the temple. Upon crossing the portal, the principal facade of the grandiose temple appears, with its 6 Hathoric columns and its northern-oriented axis, precisely aligned for the study of the stars. Very near the entrance of the complex, a chapel devoted to the birth of Horus, the symbol of consciousness illumination, is found. It was built by the Romans during the reign of the Emperor Augustus to celebrate illumination, represented by his birth from Isis and his father Osiris. In its walls are carved love scenes of Isis and Osiris, the birth of their son Horus, and the presentation of the child. The scene of God giving the boy material form in the pottery wheel is also there. Over each of its columns is the divinity Bes, the protector of pregnant women, that favors the birth of children. To the south of this chapel, the ruins of a Christian basilica are found. It was built in the 5th century AD, during the time of the destruction of the sacred figures' faces in the walls of the temple. The ruins of a sanatorium remain near the main temple, built to lodge the sick that went to the shrine of Hathor looking to recover from their illnesses. The priests of the temple were the doctors of their times. Hathor, the feminine force multiplier of life, was revered as a compassionate figure. The people traveled long distances to pray in her temple, be bathed in the sacred pools, and receives the medicine and the care they needed. The complex of Denderah could harbor thousands of people. Inside its walls, there were bakeries, breweries, stoves, stores, grain depots, rooms for the priests and the initiates, in hundreds of arches similar to these in the front of the Rasmussen in Thebes. Around its exterior walls, the people built their houses, producing a development pole under the direct care of the knowledge custodians, the priests of the Eye of Horus. The design of the facade of Hathor's temple is different to the traditional Egyptian temples. The columns are joined up to mid-height by decorated walls. The 18 columns of the Room of Life support a very high roof carved with information about the stars and their movements. Symbolically, the sky was supported by Hathor's columns. Each column has the form of a sistrum, a sacred instrument that induces vibration in a series of metal discs, used by the priestess of Hathor, the divinity of dance and music, to produce a singular sound that lulls consciousness. On top of the column, 4 faces of Hathor look towards each cardinal point, symbolizing her force, supporting the sky vault and present everywhere around the world. Her serpent eyes and cow ears produce an almost alien image, associated in many legends with the planet Venus. The temple was found in very good condition by Napoleon's troops, due to the fact that it was buried under the sand for thousands of years. In that state, it was a refuge for the nomadic tribes that smoked the precious colors of its symbolic sky with their fires. In the ceiling of this great room, the last priests of Denderah carved the astronomical tables produced by several generations of priests, so that this knowledge wouldn't disappear forever. All the zodiacal constellations with their symbols are represented over the sacred boats along images of the divinity Nut, the symbol of the skies, who every night devoured the solar disk to give birth to it at dawn. The last remaining priests transcribed the astronomical records on the walls and ceilings of the temple from important papyrus that were saved of the Cambyses' destruction to preserve them for future generations. In this salon, called the House of Life, the scribes wrote the theological works, the ritual words, and the astronomical tables on sacred papyrus. This small chapel stored the papyrus used every day.